All right, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. You watched the game last night? I saw.
I did. I did.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about the game last night?
I was excited, man. I was excited. Just simply how we played, especially defensively. I know Zion going down kind of changed some things, but I also felt like we played well enough defensively to where even if he was on the floor, that it'll probably still been a close game, and we pulled it out because we look good defensively. We didn't shoot the ball well, especially from three, but we owned the paint, so that was good to see.
Yeah, I saw today on Instagram that for your class you made your students watch the game again. What was your reason for that?
First of all, I was substitute teaching today,
Okay.
and I'm covering for a Duke fan.
Oh,
So part of it was, just to kind of rub it in their faces a little bit, but some of it was, I had a couple basketball players in there, and I told them, I want y'all to watch how both teams execute their plays and how they close out, and all of the little things that you may see on the college level that they don't necessarily understand on the high school level.
yeah. You seem to have fun on Instagram a lot. How do you come up with all those videos that you do after the Duke games and the kind of people you're targeting, like Famous Lowe's? I saw a couple of days ago you were talking to. How do you come up with those things?
Honestly, man, it's really just a turn it on and go kind of deal, man. Because some of this stuff, man, you can't really make up. It's really just about how I'm feeling at that time. Los is that's my man though, and plus he's from Durham, so me and him just started going back and forth. I know he's blew up over the last couple of days, and over the last couple of years, and he's done a tremendous job with all of the basketball videos and stuff like that. But he added me one time last year, so I had to definitely go back at his head. So, but it's fun times, man. We always enjoy it, and this is a special time of year when this game comes around. It's a real rivalry for real. So. And we have fun with it. I'm like I told them, I'm gonna talk junk either when we lose or we win. So they definitely can expect to see my face.
Yeah. Let's talk about your current position. You're the head coach of your alma mater. What has that transition been like for you from playing the game to now coaching?
It's actually it's been a smooth transition. I actually finished playing in 2017, and that summer, probably in May. I finished playing, and then I got the job in August. So I took a couple months off just to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to coach. Expectations were to kind of, start off on the college level, but this opportunity came about, and it just fit. It was a perfect fit. Going back home, going back to my alma mater at Southern Durham. And the kids that we have there, I think I was the right person for the job, and it kind of all fell into place. And now we're getting ready for the conference championship tomorrow night against our rival, Hillside. So, pretty special.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you ever see yourself pursuing a college coaching career?
I do. And that's, I want to stay at Southern as long as I can. But also college coaching is a passion of mine or a goal of mine. Just to kind of expand my level during this game. Also, just because I feel like I may be able to help some of the kids and learn a little bit more if I'm on the college level by coming back and recruiting them, maybe more so than I can as the high school coach. Like my goal here was to honestly get Durham recruited in the light that it was when I was coming through. For whatever reason, Durham had been going under recruited, and we had a lot of talent down here. So that's kind of what I came in to do from the beginning. But now I'm kind of seeing that I could possibly help out as well if I went college and came back and started recruiting this area.
Yeah. Do you see yourself and any of your players as they are trying to pursue their dreams of possibly playing college basketball?
Oh, absolutely. We have a couple guys on this team that I think are D1 caliber guys. We got a kid by the name of Javis Harvey that he decommitted from Radford. And I think he's going to get some really good looks. He's a really, really, really good player. Definitely has all of the talent in the world to be a very special D1 player and probably mid to high major. And then we got a couple other guys that are younger in the 2020 class that will come up behind him, but these guys have a chance to go somewhere, man, and that's not even just at Southern Durham. They got a really good couple guys at Hillside, at Riverside, all over Durham. So, but again, it's my job at Southern to get these guys looked at, and that's kind of what we've been doing.
And then, what do you enjoy most about coaching?
Just honestly, just watching the growth. Last year, my first year, we started off 2-4. And I asked myself two questions. I said, what if, and is it worth it? And the what if was like, it can apply to anything, but the what if was like, what if nobody's like, what if we're not winning? Mm-hmm. And at that particular time, we were 2-4. And then I watched that team kind of start to buy in and listen to what we were saying. And then a part of, some of that was on me as a coach too, as a first year coach, getting everything in and saying, okay, now we're prepared for every single situation that can happen in a game. If we're down 10, we got to press. If team goes zone, we have zone plays, etc. That kind of deal. So it was fun to watch that last year's team grow, and it was fun this year to watch last year because we had a bunch of players come back from last year's team, come back and kind of take that step up that we didn't have to have last year or didn't have last year.
That's cool. So let's talk about your playing career. You said you played professional basketball for like 11 years in the NBA and overseas. What was that whole experience like for you?
The NBA helped me realize that basketball is a business. Mm-hmm. It was great though. I enjoyed my time in Milwaukee. It taught me a lot. It put me in a place and it helped me to build relationships. And it's crazy because one of my veteran players up there was Bobby Simmons, and I just got off the phone with Bobby Simmons earlier today. And you just build relationships throughout this game. And I think that's the most special part about playing this game is the relationships that you build. And then overseas, it was the same thing. You go overseas and you're there for 9-10 months out of a year, and you continue to play and you build relationships and you follow your passion, and then you come home for a little bit and then you're right back overseas. So the experience, just learning different cultures and all that kind of stuff was amazing. My kids got a chance to go to school in France, and they're learning Spanish now and all that kind of stuff. So very excited about everything that basketball has helped us build.
Yeah. When you were in high school, what was the recruiting process like for you? Who were you all recruited by?
So the crazy part about that is, again, like I think a lot of guys got to remember, I was a football guy coming up. Okay. So I was heavily recruited in football, and I had committed to North Carolina at the beginning of my senior year to play football. And I committed to North Carolina because it was going to come down between North Carolina and Duke, simply because they had the reputation of allowing football players to play basketball. So I wanted to go and do both. But when I got to Carolina, man, it felt like what I wanted out of a school was to feel like I was thousands of miles away from home, but being right there at home as well. And that's what North Carolina gave me. North Carolina, once I got to campus, I felt like I was in a different world, but I was right down the street from Durham. So that's kind of what happened, and I was able to kind of make my decision from there. And then, fast forward into the basketball season, I win Player of the Year, put up big numbers. North Carolina comes to watch one of my other teammates. They see me, and they're like, wait a minute, because, they just had all of those transfers and all that kind of stuff in that particular class. And they offered me to come in as a preferred walk-on. Okay. I definitely had to think about that because we definitely didn't have the money to pay for college. But at the end of the day, I told myself if I'm going to go to college and do something, it should be something that, I love. And at that particular time, basketball won out as far as the love part.
Yeah, you had a lot of great teammates with Sean May, Marvin Williams, Raymond Felton. What was it like to go compete with them every single day and eventually win the national championship?
I mean, it was amazing. Because again, I've told people before, cat like Marvin Williams, man, watching somebody that young. When he came in, he was 18 years old, and I was 20. And I always felt like I was the hardest worker on the team. Mm-hmm. And then when he came in, he matched it and dang near surpassed it at times. And watching him with that kind of talent work that hard, I was like, oh, man, this is something special. And not to say that the other guys didn't as well, but Raymond used to work that hard. Jawad used to work that hard. Jackie, Melvin, all of those guys used to work that hard and had the talent to go with it. So for me, it was, when I first got there, it was really just about proving, my talent level and letting them know that, hey, I can play on this level too, even though you guys may not know my name. So, but that was a special group to go and work with every single day. They made me better, and I'm sure I made them better.
Yeah. You were a part of the team when Coach Williams joined the staff in 2003. What kind of impact did he bring to you guys that made you guys have so much success?
Immediate accountability. Mm-hmm. So when Coach came in, he was like, listen, like, this is going to start from scratch, but I understand what you guys have been through and done. So most of that stuff we're not going to let you do. and he held everybody accountable to that. So he gave guys, he defined roles and all of that kind of stuff, which kind of, at the beginning it kind of pissed guys off, but at the end of the day, it brought us a national championship. Yeah. And it made guys understand that if you want to be successful in what we are doing as a college basketball player, as a team, you have to be willing to buy in to the team concept. And he addressed that from day one and made sure we never let up on it. And again, it turned into a national championship.
Yeah. In 2005, Carolina went 33-4, and you guys beat Illinois in the national championship. What do you remember most from that day and the celebration that followed?
What I remember most was being on the floor in that national championship game as the clock hit zeros. Mm-hmm. That was very special for me, simply because, again, like, I was never the most talented, but I've always worked my butt off, and for Coach Williams to trust me in that particular moment to be out there with 4 other guys, that was something truly amazing and special, like, for me. So when the clock hit zeros and I'm on the floor and I'm running, like, just trying to find somebody to hug and say, yeah, hey, we did it, kind of deal. Like, that's kind of what went through my mind. Yo, I was on the floor for this. Coach trusted me. So, that's kind of what I remember most. Now, the celebration part of it, I don't remember much of that. That was just like a blur. Like, we just had so much fun and enjoyed every bit of it. I do remember coming back from the airport. We were driving home back to the Ding Dong from the airport. We were watching the video, the helicopter watch us. It was crazy, man. Then finally getting to the Ding Dong and me being the one to walk in with a national championship trophy was something special.
Do you stay in touch, or are you close with any of your teammates from college?
Absolutely. We still stay in touch to this day. Jawad Williams is godfather to my sons. Jackie is. Me and Ray still talk. I'm actually the head coach of Team Felton as well. So okay. Me and him talk about, that kind of deal. I speak with Sean almost, at least once a week. So even Marvin, a little bit less because Marvin's schedule is a little bit, well, I ain't going to say it's busy, but just because he's in the league. Yeah. So I try to check on him every now and then as well. But, we definitely all keep in touch. I still talk to Wes Miller, Rayshawn Terry, Byron Sanders. We all still keep in touch.
You said you're the coach for Team Felton. How does that, does it affect your high school schedule at all, or is that pretty separate?
No, it doesn't. It's Team Felton is AAU, yeah. So it's circuit ball. So you're doing that over the summer. Really, it just helps you propel your career as far as coaching. You get in front of college coaches and all that kind of stuff. And some people just stay on that level. But for me, I want to use it as a platform to kind of build my network as far as college coaches are concerned, so that I can know who to reach out to for, a particular kid and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Who was your biggest competitor or opponent in the NCAA tournament when you played?
That's a good question. I guess I got to go back to 2006, which was a heartbreaker for us with George Mason.
Mm-hmm.
That was we came out, and I had told guys, because we had played Murray State in the first round, and Murray State we didn't play that well against them. We ended up scooting by, but we just didn't play that well. And George Mason had ended up knocking off Michigan State earlier. And I told these guys, because we had played George Mason earlier in my career, I want to say it was like my freshman and my sophomore year, and they had the same team from that freshman and sophomore year. So they were senior heavy and had added a couple like juniors or something like that were really, really good. And that particular game, after the Murray State game, I told our guys in the locker room, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to tell y'all this now. If we go out and play like we played against Murray State, George Mason is going to beat us, and they're going to beat us bad. I said they're senior led. They got and at that particular time, we were kind of freshman heavy. It was me, Ray Sean, and Byron as the seniors, and then you had that class of Tyler Hansbrough, Marcus Ginyard, Danny Green, Bobby Frazier, and Mike Copeland come in as freshmen. So, and then we had Wes Miller as well, the head coach at UNCG now, but. We came out smoking, man, and we were up by like 7 at halftime. We were doing what we were supposed to do, and things kind of they kind of took a lead. They took a press on us or put a press on us, and then the game went back and forth, and then they kind of pulled away at the end to get about a couple point lead, and it was one of the toughest games. Just simply because it propelled them to go on to their special run to the Final Four, but it was my senior year, and I knew I would never put that jersey on again in 5-on-5 competition anyway. But yeah, that was probably the toughest opponent.
Okay. When you played in the Duke-Carolina rivalry, what did that mean to you to go into Cameron and then play the Dindo and everything? What did that whole experience mean to you?
What's crazy? I think I was explaining this like to one of my students today, and I told him, I said, that rivalry is crazy. Like there's nothing like it. But the crazy part about it is I think the game being played in Cameron is just a tad bit more special.
Yeah.
Just because of that venue is so small, like that rivalry inside Cameron is crazy. But at the end of the day too, it is very, very special at North Carolina as well. I do not want people to think that I'm downplaying that part of it at any rate, but it is just a tad bit special. And me being from Durham, being a former, fan of them, kind of, being a former guy. So, but yeah, that rivalry is something crazy, and it meant the world for me, especially my freshman year going in, coming back to Durham kind of deal, and especially playing well was really special for me. I'll always remember that game.
I met Quinn Cook this past summer, and he told me like when you're playing Carolina at Cameron, the floor just like shakes from all the fans. Is that true?
Yes. In 2006, when we beat them over at Cameron. They were making a run to come back, and DeMarcus Nelson hit a 3 late in the game, like to cut the lead to like 3 or 4 or something like that, or cut our lead down. And when I say like that's the loudest that I've ever heard anything in my life, man, there was deafening in there, and the floor was shaking. You're trying to walk and you looking around, everything is shaking in front of you.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, man. And again, that's kind of why I say. Like the rivalry is a little bit more special inside Cameron.
Got a couple more questions. What did you learn most from playing at Carolina?
I learned the game. I learned how to play the game the right way. And Coach Williams was a firm believer in teaching us the game the right way, making the right play, making the easy play, and that's kind of the player that I always was anyway. I wasn't I wasn't never really a flashy type of player. I always wanted to make the right play, to the winning play, so to speak. And that's what Coach Williams taught us. He taught us how to be accountable on defense as well as offense. And he also taught us how to sacrifice as well. Like, if we got a guy that's hot, let's get him the ball. Like, let's screen for him. Let's help a teammate, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I learned at Carolina, and again, that translates to basketball all over the world, NBA and overseas.
What have you missed the most since your playing days?
Honestly, just the camaraderie with your teammates, like that family feeling. Like, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it, especially in college. Like, y'all, you do so much together. You eat together. You sleep together. Like, y'all got you in dorm rooms, or you got roommates. Like, so you guys are always around each other, and you build this bond that's again, it's like family. It's like family. So that's the part that I miss. Again, when you're overseas, you're kind of by yourself. You're a loner. You may have only one other American on your team, that kind of deal. So that part of it. And then when you're in the league, everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's got money. So it's one of those kind of deals. But in college, man, it's a different feel. It's definitely a family feel. And everybody buys into that. And that's one of the most special feelings. And that's something that I miss about the game.
Family over brotherhood.
Absolutely.
How would you sum up your Carolina basketball experience?
If I had to use one word, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
It was simply amazing, man, to go from a kid that was a football player to walking on to gaining a scholarship to a national championship to leading a great group of freshmen that was to being drafted to playing a long career overseas. It was amazing. It was an amazing ride, and now to coaching is even more special for me, because I'm able to pass on the knowledge that I've gained from Hall of Fame coaches. Yeah. All of this knowledge from each level, whether that be NBA, D League, or G League now, or to overseas on the highest levels. So, like, that's been something very special for me, and I always cherish that.
All right, and then final question: how would you like Carolina fans to remember you?
Just as Dino, man. Like, I'm hoping that when people think about me, they think about the silly guy that gave his all on the court, and at the end of the day, he worked his butt off. Like, and Coach Williams has said that I was one of the greatest leaders that he's ever coached, so I appreciate that. So I would like them to see me as a leader as well, but like, I like to be remembered as the fun going guy, man. Just always a smile on your face, and and just work your butt off. And I love doing that, working my butt off with a smile. So that's what I want everybody to remember.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you doing this, man. It means a lot for you to come on and do this.
Yeah, man, no problem. And again, forgive me. I was on the phone with one of my players and needed to get him straight.
Yeah, you're good. You take care.
All right, boss. Enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
Yep.